Good morning. Testing out this, I don't know, this software gets interesting more and more every day. Anyhow, we left off with, we're talking about business ethics. This tends to be quite the big chapter because so many ethical things surround business. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I get the funny feeling in my stomach that I shouldn't be doing it? Is it ethical for me to do it? Is it illegal for me to do it? Is it legal but not ethical? Is it ethical but illegal? Is it both illegal and unethical? But I think we left off with slide 9 here when we're talking about when a child is hungry, you steal a loaf of bread from the store to feed. Not legal to steal, but again, is it ethical? And we all get into what we call these ethical dilemmas. And we'll be talking more about ethical dilemmas here in a moment. Moving through the PowerPoint though, there are a certain amount of what we call universal ethical standards. And these standards include trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Now, with that being said, not everybody is going to have these ethical standards. These are universal. We should, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to. Now, flipping through some of this terminology with trustworthiness and fairness, respect, you would think that we automatically would know what they are. But trustworthiness, being honest, not deceiving, not cheating nor stealing. Do what you say you're going to do. That in itself could choke out a few of my friends. Respect, the golden rule. Treat others how you would like to be treated. Be considerate, be tolerant of differences. Now, there's only a couple of you in the class, but there is always a toleration of that person next to you. Their wicked little laugh, the way they brush their hair, the way that they walk into the building, the way that they dress. So there's so many things that sometimes we have to be tolerant and respectful of each other. Responsibility. Persevere. Some of you may be struggling with this whole online situation, but it's still a responsibility to your education. You're paying for this, for you to be here, be on time, take a look at the curriculum, take a look at the assignments, complete the assignments, get them turned in on time. That's being self-controlled and self-disciplined. Sometimes that is a rough one for me. Self-discipline. I have found out since we've been home that there are times that honestly I can sit here all day, but I have to tell myself to get up, go out to a yard. I had to make a couple phone calls yesterday, so I went out to a yard, did a couple laps around the yard, stretch out the legs, still make sure you're getting exercise. Be accountable for your choices. Fairness, providing equal opportunity, be open-minded. Don't take advantage of others. This day and age, this is a big one because people do take advantage of each other. People aren't open-minded to share each other's backgrounds. We all come from different areas. Hannah, Julie, myself, we were all raised differently. We might be similar, but we are still different. So you have to be open-minded to be able to provide equal opportunity to one another. Caring, be kind, be compassionate, express gratitude. And citizenship. I think sometimes with these videos I like to get too crazy and start speaking too fast. So either way, citizenship, this is one that I always have to plug into my 17-year-old. Contributing to the community. protect the environment, cooperate whenever possible. Now, those can be argumentative depending on our value system, our background, our traditions in life, a lot of different things. Protecting the environment sticks out to me. Excuse me, coffee's rough already. Protecting the environment is one of these things where, no, I'm not a tree hugger by no stretch of the imagination. But one of the things it's taught us with this coronavirus and everybody being at home and going to the store is we're actually going to get serious about building a garden this year. So we're laying out an area out back to till up, and we're going to plant our own garden so we don't have to be so dependent on the store. But is the garden going to be able to produce enough toilet paper for us? That is the real question. All right, there's a couple things in the book here. We're going to be getting into Gandhi as well as Mark Zuckerberg. If you don't know who Mark Zuckerberg is, y'all are on his website every day. Mark Zuckerberg is obviously the person who helped create Facebook. And he has a quote that was in our book I found quite interesting. Our philosophy is that we care about people first. Somewhere down the line that probably would have been true. But the problem with that is, if you've heard anything about Facebook, they've always had security issues. Third-party cookies coming into your Facebook, fishing for your stories. It's interesting if you think about third-party cookies, little crumbs that sort of mark your internet trail or your searching trail. That's the reason why they call it cookies. This one doesn't bother me so much, but I find it quite interesting all the time because I'm pretty safe online. But if I happen to have my Facebook open, I order something from Amazon on a separate website, not from Facebook. Say I order a chair, which I did. I literally ordered a new office chair for myself because the chair I have stinks. That's the reason why I gotta get up every so often and walk. It is hard bottom, not soft. I just needed to get a real chair in here. So yeah, I ordered this chair on Amazon, and boom, guess what happens to my Facebook? That's right. Get all these advertisements for chairs now. So now I'm like a chair king on Facebook. Wayfair sends me stuff. Amazon sends me, oh, you might like this chair, yada, 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 even though I've already ordered a chair. To me, that's a security breach. That is phishing. That is third-party cookies. And again, I found it interesting that Mark Zuckerberg would have this quote, considering how many times they've been in trouble with their security issues. Now these are things that are taken out of the book, and I researched a little bit about what Mahatma Gandhi preached about. I'm going to be watching a couple videos, but I also have Mahatma Gandhi assignment. There's a couple assignments that we're going to be dealing with that is going to entail you to write a one-page paper. We'll discuss that in a minute. Politics without principles. Well, we can definitely see that in this day and age. I'm a Trump supporter, you guys know that. But I'm not in love with the guy. He's our president. He's what we have. Can't bash my president. I took an oath once upon a time to support the president and to support, or not support, but to protect our country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And to do that, you have to be on the side of the president. So there's a lot to unravel with politics without principles, commerce without morality. Think about the fishing. I just told you about that story with Amazon and Facebook. Wealth without work. Inheriting all that you have. If I remember correctly, Donald Trump ended up with a $1 million loan from his father. Now, for us, having $1 million would be a great thing. But the question is, what would you do with that $1 million? Are you able to invest it to create what Donald Trump did? Also read or watched a video one time of, which I might bring it up on here, Bill Gates. Bill Gates having all his money and asking whether he's going to leave it to his children. And summarizing, he said, no, they're going to end up having to work. I have to say that I'm not going to leave some money, but I'm not leaving it all to them because they have to work for it. I always respected him for that. He said, I'm going to have to dig up that video. I think it was a interview with Oprah Winfrey. Education without character. Science without humanity. Pleasure without conscience. Worship without sacrifice. Those are huge. I mean, those 7 things that Gandhi spoke about, if we could get those in a container and just show folks, you know what, maybe we should start taking a look at some of these people in history that has taught us things. So flipping to our canvas, you have a Gandhi quote. We're going to be talking about ethical dilemmas at the end of the PowerPoint. I don't know if that will be today or not. But today is Wednesday, so I might have to post another video on here. I don't want us to spend a ton of time, but we're probably looking at a test on Chapter 4, probably April 1st. And that's not a joke. A week from today is April 1st. So we may or may not have a video on that. Or a test on this chapter. But we're coming up to the end of it, so you should know that it's getting close. So this Gandhi quote, what you're going to end up doing, you're choosing one of the following quotes and write a one-page summary of why you chose it. And what effect does it have on you and or those around you? Now this is not a research paper by no stretch. This is just a one-page viewpoint of one of these that sort of stick out to you. I think of these first 2, actually these first 3. All of them, the education without character, I would have to research that one. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would refer to. Science without humanity, pleasure without conscience, worship without sacrifice. All these, one of these have to stand out to you. But you're writing a one-page paper, 12 font, regular space. Don't be putting it on 40 font size. Some kind of wacky wingding or something. But just a one-page summary of why you chose it and what effect does it have on you and those around you. All right, getting back to the PowerPoint here. That is due the 30th. The 30th is Monday. Plenty of time to do it. Make sure you guys are balancing your time. This is one of the reasons why we have to have at least a live class every week to make sure that you guys are not falling behind. I don't want you guys to fall behind in any of this. I know for some of you it's like, oh gosh, I never wanted to do online, but it may be working out better than you thought. It might be vice versa for the other person. Oh, I wanted to do online. Wow, this sucks. So we'll take a look at that. And again, this is just referring back to the Gandhi assignment. So on page 61, we're going to be getting into a little bit of ethical dilemmas. I think I'll just do this one robotic car ethical dilemma, and then we will call it a day for business. So you have an assignment to do. If you haven't finished anything else in business, make sure you're getting all those other assignments completed as well. This is on page 61 in the book, and who should die and who should decide. Imagine that your driverless robotic car blows a tire while careening. This is in your book. I'm just reading it to you. Down a lovely mountain road. Your car still has some degree of control, but it's quickly becoming clear that this is not going to end well. On one side of you is oncoming traffic, which means several cars and family of bicyclists. And on the other side is a very, very steep cliff. Should the car slam into the oncoming traffic to save your life, or send you careening over the cliff to save others? This is not just an abstract question, it's an authentic ethical dilemma. And we'll talk more about ethical dilemmas on Monday. That businesses will increasingly need to face as more and more consumer machinery takes on superhuman ability to react to danger. They have these cars now that can parallel park for you. What is wrong with parallel parking? Please tell me that you too can parallel park. That is going to be our question of the day. Do you know how to parallel park? I'm not putting it separately because you're going to have to watch the video in order to get that question. Do you know how to parallel park? That is your question for the bell ringer. Do you know how to parallel park? A major hurdle in programming a robot to make ethical decisions is anticipating the virtually endless number of scenarios that the robot might face. One possible solution is to randomize the robot's responses, but that approach completely evades human responsibility and negates the potential positive power of human judgment. Courts, insurance companies, and governments around the world will certainly weigh in on how robots are and should be programmed. Clearly, contemporary moral math is nothing if not complex. So, yeah, let's leave off that. This video is going to be, it is 17 minutes, so it's time to stop anyhow. But again, your bell ringer is going to be, do you know how to parallel park? See how it works out watching the video.